But even on my best days, I can hit a 1 foot drive.
All right, welcome to another week of 1 Foot Drive podcast. I'm Mike Szabo, joined as always by Andy Duvall and Tony Iannone.
What's going on, peeps?
Let's go. I love the Rory sign. I just noticed it.
There you go.
Amazing.
So
Rory! I can't see it.
So this week, we got a Masters recap. We got RBC Heritage. It's a signature event. Putacana side event. We got picks recap. We got a pick for this week. We got a teaching and structured coaching segment. We got a new segment, player or pretender. So that's going to be a fun one. And we're going to wrap it up with our AD weekly update, where he's going to give us just all the latest news, potpourri stuff from the tours, and things of that nature. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this week is a special edition of Eat Crow for the first.
Yeah. Amen.
For our
Cheers.
podcast.
Cheers.
Eating a bunch of crow. Nobody had Rory. Rory got it
Cheers.
done. Congrats, young man. So this week we got Rory. 11 time is the charm. Completed his career Grand Slam. Sixth person to do it. We had a wild final round. It was awesome. I mean, everybody was in at the start. Then it was a victory lap time for Rory, just, waving to the crowd, make sure Poppy's in position for the hug. And then, and everybody was in it again. So you had Justin Rose, 10 birdies on that course, 66 to get into a playoff. Patrick Reed, third place, -9. He three-putted from 4 feet on 13, or he'd have been in that playoff. It's wild. Scotty, just being Scotty, I didn't think he was on his game, and he was contending again. I mean, he birdied 13 and 15 once in all 4 rounds. One birdie on those 2 holes, and he's still in contention, world number 1 for a reason. And then Bryson laid an egg, 75. He had a double on 11 with a water ball. He made par on 8, 13, and 15, dumping it in the water on 15. Even with everything else in his round, he did not take advantage of the par 5s. Fired a 75. And then, Bryson, I love you, but when you're congratulating people, you don't have to remind them that you didn't have your swing. That's kind of a bad look. I didn't like that. I love Bryson, but it's a bad look, dude. So that was the Masters. Duvall, what are your thoughts on the final round, the action? What'd you see?
I mean, I saw kind of what I started to state last week. He starts off quick with a double, Rory. Bryson comes out, makes a good par putt on 1. It was a wild start to the day, and as you stated, we kind of saw the ups and downs. We got the TV coverage that we wanted. Rory's just one of those guys that incredible player. I'm happy he won. I am the one that's eating some crow this week for sure. I'm gonna hold on to the mental midget comment because I just you saw it. I mean, you saw it
For sure.
The nice thing is that he built up a big enough lead that he could kind of buckle and still keep himself there. So it was an incredible Sunday. I was happy I got to watch it and see the end of it, and it was a nice weekend.
Yeah.
I love it.
Tony,
Absolutely.
what'd you think?
Yeah.
Any favorite moments? What was your take on the Masters final round?
I mean, let me start. Give Rory his flowers, right? The hook heard round the world, as I'm calling it. That shot was just delicious on 15. I mean that putt left a lot to be desired, but great shot in there. But yeah, I thought the last round was quite the pillow fight. Aside from Justin Rose making incredible comeback and talk about a great shot, he hit an incredible shot in the playoff. Really only to be outdone by Rory's literally couldn't have hit a better shot because Lord knows that he needed to hit it really close. You know,
Oh yeah, and that was after
yeah,
he
yeah.
hit. That was after he hit 2 gap wedges like 35 yards off line to the right.
yeah,
I mean, that was wild.
yeah.
What do you think of that, Tony? Was that just pressure or something in that move? He's trying to do that little sawed off no spin
You know,
shot, or what? What do you think that is?
I'm not sure, really. I'm not sure. It's. I think that's one of those places that you're kind of protected by the wind. So maybe he was thinking the wind's going to push it over or something. And then he literally had the same shot in the playoff that he had. I think it was the exact same yardage.
He said he was
Five
So-
closer, I think.
2. He said in the
2 yards
interview he
closer?
was 2. 2.
So
Yep.
he knew exactly what he had to do different. And it's just like these guys are too good to give somebody 2 looks at something. And, most guys are hitting 9, 8 iron into that green, and he's hitting gap wedge.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, Rose had 157 yards in, I believe. He had 8 iron and flagged.
That's what I mean. He hit a incredible. Did he? I mean, it looked like
almost
he
hit it.
hit the stick. I don't even know because I thought they would have stopped a little quicker.
It landed like 3 feet short. It's almost unlucky that it landed where it did. If it lands a little shorter, I think it stays closer to the hole. Yeah. If it lands 3 to 4 yards further, it rips up the bank and comes back to probably 6 to 8 feet closer than he had.
Yes.
The guy striped one off the tee. You know, he comes in and just rips 8 iron in there. It was
good for him too.
It looked like it came off of his putter slightly right of where he was looking. It looked like a tiny bit of a shove.
Yes.
It is what it is. He misses it low, fine. But Rory with I'm gonna say this. I would rather have Rory stuck in the trees, having to rip it up over, or hitting these low bullets or big curving shots. The guy can do it. If you get him in the middle of the fairway with a stock wedge in your hand,
he needs 2 tries.
Like, oh God, oh my God. And I'll tell you this, he makes for great TV, right?
Oh yeah.
The guy, like regardless of what you say, he makes for great TV.
For sure.
Because he's going to pull a shot off. He pulled off a few of them. I mean, the shot he hit over the trees and landed short either earlier in the round. Yeah, it was earlier in the round, right?
Unreal.
Incredible shot. Left it short. Fine, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But then again, he gets a 4-shot lead.
Yes.
Walking to the 11th tee box, and the next thing you know, he's trying to make a 4-footer to win.
Yeah.
What's going on?
And how about his break on 11? That ball doesn't go in the water. Unbelievable.
I sent you guys a message.
I know.
It has to go in the water, right? It has to go in the water.
Has to.
So, I mean,
it's the Freddie break, you know. Winning requires luck, right?
It does.
Winning requires luck.
It does.
I agree.
But no, it was a great Sunday though. Like it was fun. Like it was total destruction, nightmares. There was beautiful shots. There was great Justin Rose making just an incredible run. And I mean, it was cool. It was a great Sunday.
He made 1 par on the backside.
Unbelievable.
He made 1 par. He par 10 and then birdie bogey. Yeah, he made 5 birdies. He made 6 birdies coming in and then 2 bogeys. You know, I mean, what an incredible way to finish the Masters and give yourself a chance. I mean,
17 was a rough bogey for Rose, I thought. That was one. If he wanted one back, I think that's one he wants back. That was, I mean, he was blocked out. He made a good shot, but that with his short game, straight up the hill like that, you think you're getting down in 2. Yeah, that's. Yeah, then,
I agree.
Then Auberg on 17, 30 feet. Let's run up 35 feet by. Let's have a longer par putt than we had birdie putt. I mean, I don't know. Some guys were forcing it when they didn't have to force it. So what are you going to do?
I mean, you've got Bryson. You got Bryson forcing it on 11 hits in the water. What are you doing?
Yes.
How can that ball be left of the hole? I don't care if you're 5 down. I don't care if you're 5 down. You have so many holes coming in, and you have the ability. You've watched Rory buckle to you less than a year ago.
Yes.
So give yourself a chance.
And you're going to have iron in your hand on 2 par 5s. Give me a break. Give me a break.
You're going to have iron and wedges in the rest of the golf tournament.
Yes.
Like, give yourself a chance. And the funny part is that he still had a chance.
Yes,
after Rory gave, like, he hit it in the water and still had a chance.
Yes.
I mean, it's impossible, but it happened.
Yes.
That's why I will say, the one thing I did say, people need to play bad for Rory to win, and I'm sorry, but everybody but Justin Rose played pretty gosh darn terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
nobody really showed up.
There were a couple of 69s in there, and that's what everybody else basically shot, other than Rose. But I mean, they're so far behind that they needed 66, they needed 65. And
yeah, it was too little, too late. I mean, nobody was even
100%.
around. No one was in. It was just. I thought it was going to be a great duel, and Bryson just didn't. Yeah, he was really
didn't show up.
No.
Yep, agreed.
Well, I got a good one for you boys. So that's a good wrap on the Masters. PGA is at Quail Hollow this year. A certain players won there 4 times, including last year. The Open is at Royal Portrush. Course record of 61 when he was 16 years old. He missed a cut in 2019, but he just fell short. He made a big second-day rush. U.S. Open's at Oakmont. He missed a cut in 2016, but with the way he's playing tee to green right now, it's going to be unbelievable. Does Rory, he has a career Grand Slam, does Rory win the Grand Slam this year?
Please stop.
Does he win the Grand Slam this year? These courses are tailor-made for him.
Jesus Christ, he wins one major after how many years, and the next thing you know, it's a Grand Slam. What are we talking about right now? Sure, you want to throw that out there and you want to set it up that way. There is some mathematical chance that this guy can do that.
Uh-huh.
The stars can align, but
make me eat crow, Rory. I do think that he wins at PGA. I do think he wins at Quail Hollow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So sure.
And I don't even think it's close. I think he runs away with it at Quail Hollow because it's thunderstorms. That place will be wet. They don't have sub air.
Yeah.
I think he runs away at Quail Hollow.
It's that time of year. It's going to be rain. There's going to get moisture and all that stuff. Yeah.
He's going to
be able to just bang it.
He's going to be the favorite going into Port Rush. After missing the cut in 2019 in his homeland, he's going to want to rip it up. The handcuffs are off, boys. He has no pressure now. He hits at 370 off the tee.
You think he doesn't, Mike?
Unbelievable. I give him a 12% chance to do it. 12%.
12%?
12%. I like that.
I want the odds of what it actually is. I want
We'll
the
have to
percentage
look it
of
up.
what it actually is.
We'll find it. I couldn't find it anywhere for this broadcast. They have the
For a parlay?
2026 Masters out. Anybody want to take a guess on who's favored for the 2026 Masters? The odds are out already.
Scheffler,
yeah.
Yep. Scheffler, Rory, and then Aberg. And then
Aberg.
if you like DeChambeau, you can get him right now at like plus 2,400. It's a good,
nice.
It's a good price for DeChambeau right now.
Listen, I like Aberg. Or I like Oberg.
Aberg, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm in for that. Rory, I can't believe that this is even brought up right now. It's unbelievable.
I teed it up.
Like what a treat, right? Like what a treat
Right
that's
there.
even brought up.
We love Rory. Right there it is.
Wow.
Love Rory.
Wow.
That's amazing.
All right. Well, let's roll into the action coming this week. Masters, epic as always. RBC Heritage Classic at Harbor Town. Pete Dye Design. It's a signature event. Scotty is the defending champion. He beat up on the field. He won by 3 last year. I think Thagala was in second place. And then we have the Putacana event for the some side action for some guys to get a tour win, accumulate some money. We can go with, what do we want to do first? How about we do this? Why don't we cover our picks from last week as a little transition into this? So last week we got to relive it, boys. Our favorites. Tony takes it down with Scheffler, 4th place. You had Bryson tied for 5th. I had Morikawa tied for 14th. The old timers, you guys took Phil +5, missed a cut. I put the check mark in my column. I had Longer, missed a cut, but he was +3. He was closer.
Yeah, he was close.
And then
I was surprised he missed a cut. he looked really good, man. He looked really
had
good.
it coming down at the end.
He did.
Bogey 18, right? Bogey 18.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
And what
Bogey
was-
finish, I think. Right?
And what was
I think so.
the interviewer afterwards was like, "What was your feeling walking up 18 for the last time?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm not really sure because I was still within the cut.
Oh,
I
that
was
was
walking up
heartbreaking.
18, and I was like."
Yeah.
Then the announcer's like, "Oh yeah, sorry, dude."
Yeah.
And then you had long shots. I had Aaron Rye. He T27, first time at the Masters, good showing.
Nice.
Long shot, Will Zalatoris. He was +8, missed the cut.
Well, we know who's the fader.
like 40th in the world. He's like 40th in the world.
He's going to be a huge long shot. He's been on the leaderboard, top 10.
All right. Well, he missed the cut, so.
And then we got, Duvall gets a check mark with that one. Hoagie with a little T14. Good work there, Duvall.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Guy's playing good, man. Guy was playing good.
So, Harbor Town, cool little track. Shot Shaper's Paradise. Have you guys been on the property at Harbor Town? Seen it? Been there?
No, I have not.
Andy?
I've never
Love a
been
pizza
there.
though.
Never been there, but I've watched a lot of those, a lot of those rounds, a lot of the tournaments over the years, and that place looks really cool to be at.
Yeah.
So, fairway super tight, all that stuff.
Yeah,
so I'd be interested to get there one day.
Yeah, you got to curve your ball. You got to move it. There's big trees in the way. I had a chance when I was in college. I did some internships during it was the MCI Heritage at that time. I worked a merchandise tent, and I was right in the bay. So there was the tent, a sidewalk, and then Greg Norman's yacht. So you see all the shenanigans on and off the boat all day long. Great. The condo right there was Mickelson and Amy
What a
when they were
treat.
young. This is like, I'm talking 25 years ago, boys. You know, he goosed her up the steps on the way after the round. It was a cool little spot. So, RBC, why don't we do this? How about a little trivia for you boys? RBC style.
Ooh,
You ready?
Mike with the trivia. I love it.
Who's won the most times at Harbor Town? 4 is the number. And I'll start off with some clues. This gentleman joined the tour in 1986 and has won 21 times on tour. And 4 of those wins are at Harbor Town. I got different levels of clues here, so I'll let you guess and then we'll move on unless you don't have a guess.
1986.
So it can't
Harbor
be Cooch,
Town.
can't be Brian.
Is he on Champions Tour right now?
He is not. And I'm not going to say why he's not on the Champions Tour because that'll probably be a dead giveaway. That'll be a clue further down.
Is it Norman?
He was in the news recently. Nope. Andy, anything?
He was in the news recently.
Mm-hmm.
86?
That's when he joined
Man.
tour.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
I don't...
All right, go moving on. Second round of clues. He won the 97 PGA, the 92 Players, went to college at UNC. He was a Carolina boy.
Ooh.
You guys are lost. All right, next round. This dude was legendary for pairing up with Freddie Couples at the World Cup, and they had victories in 92, 93, 94, and 95. Ryder Cup captain in 12 and 16, played in 6 Ryder Cups and 6 President's Cups.
Stricker?
Nope. Tony, you're too young to remember the World Cups. Those were like the 2-man better ball
It's got to
formats.
be... He was a captain? Oh, my God. I want...
Start
Does he
going.
live in Sea Island? Davis. Love the third.
You got it.
Nice.
He went to
DL
UNC, huh?
He did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Davis Love the third. 4 wins. He's Mr. Sea Island. Yeah, he would. Where I grew up in Pennsylvania, he would always come up once a summer and play Scotch Valley with some of his sponsors. I think like the DeGaulle brothers and some guys were helping him out. So he'd always come up, play around at Scotch Valley nearby. It was always a big deal. It was in the paper. People go watch and yeah. So
No shit.
So once
Old
again,
school.
just showing my age there, Tony.
That's cool.
3 wins was Hal Irwin and Stuart Sink were 3 wins.
Doesn't
that's-
Kuchar have? Oh, Kuchar's got 2.
Yeah, there's a ton of guys that have 2. Ton of guys. Yeah, we don't have
Him
time.
and like Brian Gay. Yeah, I agree.
we don't have time to list all the 2 balls. So let's get into picks. Let's do this week. We're going to do top 30. So we got to have it a little more defined for some people of what the pick ratio is. So somebody in the top 30. Andy, you got anybody?
I'm taking JT.
Ooh,
I'm taking Justin Thomas. He's
All right.
eighth in the world right now. He's been trying to play better. I think it's a decent golf course for him. It's not a driver fest. He can kind of keep it in play, and he works his ball well. He did some nice stuff at the Masters. He just didn't really have everything there. So I've got him this week.
Tone?
I'm gonna go with Aberg. Yeah, I thought he's coming off a really strong week at the Masters. Maybe showed his age a little bit on Sunday, but had a really strong statistical performance. I think he's got a great caddy. So we'll see what he does, baby.
Here we go.
Fuck.
Here we go. We're only okay.
Oh yeah.
What are we?
We're gonna
8 minutes in?
Yeah, I know. We're gonna
in?
just rip the caddy
All right.
Band-Aid off. So
All right.
That's all I got for caddies. That's all
I
I just
got you.
wanted
All right. So we're gonna leave Scotty Scheffler off the board because we're not gonna let Tony take that in his long shots. So I'm gonna go with Shane Lowry. He played really well at the Masters. Got a little
Nice.
irritated with the media and had a bad final round, but I'm gonna go with Lowry. Top 125, Tony. Anybody 31 to 125? Who do you got?
I was just gonna say, this is a really strong field.
It is.
It's cool that right after the Masters, we're gonna have another really good golf tournament on a totally different golf course.
Oh yeah, totally different setup.
So I've got Max Gracerman is my pick here. Kind of, not the best ball striker, but hits it a long way. And he's a great putter. And I think, right now, if you can get on the greens at Harbor Town, I think you got a chance. And his ball striking is good enough to hit some greens in reg and get that flat stick rolling. We'll see what happens.
All right, Duval.
So I've got JT Poston. It was between
Nice.
him and Chris Kirk. I've got JT. He finished he finished T5 last year.
It's a good pick. I like it.
Yeah, seems like a good one that can kind of take over there.
Yeah. As you'll move along in the wheelhouse of picks that I have, I don't usually stray too far from the guys that I like, but I'm going to go with a guy who doesn't need length because length isn't important at Harbor Town. I'm going to go with Denny McCarthy.
Yeah.
Short game, just
Another great putter.
like a Brian Gay, just a guy that's going to keep his ball in play, give himself a ton of looks, can putt the cover off the ball.
Yep.
So that's my
Good pick.
That's my guy there. Long shot. So Tony, this will be outside the top, let's say 60, because this is a strong field. I'll give you that.
I think there's only 2 or 3 guys outside of the top 90.
Yeah.
So
correct. So that's why I'm saying over 60.
Yep.
I think would be fair.
And just to make sure I was in the right place here, just to make sure,
oh, please don't do it.
I made sure to go to the bottom of the list. And I found a guy who I think is going to do great here, who we mentioned him earlier, Mr. Matt Kuchar. Like you said, yes, absolutely. He's a 2-time winner.
Make the cut guy.
He doesn't miss a lot of fairways. He's solid, great putter. So we'll see. He's getting older, so he knows he's got to make the most of his starts. Just got added to the field, I think, earlier today. So
wow,
yeah, should be good.
Nice. Duval, long shot.
I'm riding that myself. You know what? I'm gonna switch it up though.
Don't do it.
And I'm gonna take Ricky
Oh,
Fowler.
Jesus.
Nice.
That's a
Ricky Fowler.
Let's
yeah,
go.
that's a good pick there.
I mean,
Yeah.
114th in the world right now. I mean, he's, we'll see what happens. It's a long shot, but
Yep. I like
I'm
it.
probably fade. I'm still taking it, but I'm people are probably gonna fade that one pretty hard.
Yeah. I think our long shots are good, like make the cut candidates for a nice little parlay.
We've got a nice theme of great
I didn't
putters.
see Gerard was in there. I forgot Gerard's in there.
Well, funny you say that. I was just gonna say
Oh,
Go figure.
I'm gonna ride the horse and whip him until he kicks me off.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
this
love it.
guy slid into a signature event with his play recently. Irons. The guy makes his money with his irons. In the RPC, this Harbor Town is irons, baby. I mean, I'm not going to pick Gerard every week, okay? There's probably a limit to it, but I got to come back to this. It's, what are you going to do?
I like
Okay.
it.
When
I
you,
like
when
it.
you got a horse, you ride him.
If it ain't broke.
You're
Nope.
definitely taking him for the PGA as a long shot.
No,
I mean, let's
no.
let's
I
call
already-
a spade a spade.
Nope, I already,
North Carolina boy.
no, I already,
He went to UNC. He plays the golf course. What?
I'll let you take
All
him.
right.
I'm not taking
All
him.
right. All right.
Yeah, I'm not taking
All
him.
right.
Putacana, defending champ Billy Horschel. Yeah,
Is he even playing? He's not even playing.
I don't think so. I don't know.
No,
where-
he's playing in the signature.
yeah, that win gets him up in the signature. So,
Yeah.
what do you got, Duvall? Putacana.
I'm taking Kevin Roy. He's
All right.
he's been playing decent. He's kind of snuck his way up there. Anytime he gets a chance to be up there, he usually holds himself pretty well. So might be a good week for him to kind of break through and have a good finish. So I'm going with that.
Nice, Tony.
I'm taking Mr. Joel Damon for no other reason than I think he's awesome. And
He's won there.
yeah, I mean, and he's probably one of the better guys in the field. I think he's playing some good golf lately. Had a little, if you guys watched Full Swing, had a little come to Jesus with his caddy. Classy guy, Mr. Gino Benelli. Classy guy.
Gino.
You
Big
know?
boy Gino. I do like Gino.
So seems like he's got his stuff in order, if you know what I mean, and looks like he's playing some good golf. What do you think, Mike? What
Well,
do you say?
I love when I have 3 or 4 guys to pick and you guys don't take any of them. So now it's decision time. Andy mentioned him earlier a couple weeks ago. Smalley playing some good golf.
Yeah.
Ben Griffin, my boy Kisner. I love Kisner, but
Ooh,
I'm going to go with Mr. 7 Button Polo, Cashmere Keith Mitchell.
Love it.
Oh, the favorite.
I mean,
I love
I don't
it.
know. I forgot to take a picture. I don't know how many buttons he was rocking. I think it was a 7 or 8 button polo. It was not a full length button.
He is
He
smooth.
stopped it right above the belly button. But it's wild. So yeah,
Yeah.
fellow Mizuno staff player, gotta take him.
Yeet.
Hey, that's a solid pick, Mike.
I like it.
Thank you.
I like
thank
it.
you. Thank you. Well, let's go ahead and let's get into our teaching, instruction, coaching segment. And this week, we're going to talk about ball fitting and choosing the correct golf ball for your game. Quickly on my part, when I'm working with a student, for ball fitting, I like to start at the hole and then back them up to the tee. And what I mean by that is around the greens, those 100-yard in shots, that's where they're taking all their shots. They're going to hit one off the tee. It's going to go wherever. I would rather have a ball that fits somebody around the greens, 100 to 150 inside, because that's where they're going to take a majority of their shots. If you have your higher level ball striking speed guy, better player, maybe you start at the tee because they want to get some spin off the ball for more distance. But for me, that's kind of how I go. Tony, what do you think? How do you get somebody into a golf ball?
Yeah. I look at this really pragmatically, and I'm pretty much like, what is your budget and what is your expectation? If your budget is to spend $25 on a dozen golf balls and go out there and be a scratch golfer, we have to have a conversation. So I think if you're just somebody who's going out there to have fun, I'd say ammo is ammo, if you will. I kind of break it down. There's like kind of 3 buckets of golf balls, if you will. Like the price budget golf balls, which are like anywhere from, you can get them from 12, like recycled balls, $12 a dozen, to anywhere to 35, I would say. And then from like 35 to 40, you've got like that mid-tier range. And then you've got your premium balls, which are mostly $50 to $60, right? And I pretty much ask folks like what their ability is and how often they're losing a golf ball and what their budget is. And pretty much based on that, if you're somebody who has a large budget and you don't mind spending the extra money, then go for a premium ball. You'll see the difference. You'll see the distance. You'll see the spin around the greens. If you have a smaller budget and you're not trying to, make it on tour, it's okay to find like a dozen balls for $25 and have a great time. I think there's a lot of great golf balls on the market right now. You don't have to break the bank. I've seen used golf balls online that come in different conditions for practicing and things like that. But the main thing is, I think it's just important to play a consistent golf ball. It goes a really long way to understanding your game and your ball flight. So that's my biggest thing.
Nice. Duvall?
What do you think, Andy?
I first and foremost, I would love to be a fly on the wall when you have that conversation with them about playing a premium ball and trying all that stuff. I'd like to hear that, but I look at things as swing speed and what you want around the greens. So lower swing speed, lower spin rates. We're kind of looking at something that's going to be, probably lower tier of golf ball, something that's a little less compression. You're going to be able to keep some distance. You're still going to be able to somewhat control it around the greens. And then, the other end of that, if you've got a player that, maybe swings it a little bit faster than the norm and as most AMs do, probably have a little bit too much spin on their golf ball coming off of really any shot, whether it's T-ball, iron play, they get a little steep more times than not. So I'm getting them into something that's going to be a little bit more compression, has a little bit more forgiveness to it, because everybody's going to want to have spin. I mean, you've got to have it to control flight and all of that stuff. So I like to put people in a ball that isn't maybe the primo, isn't a Pro V1 or something to that extent. But hitting shots around the green is most important, as Mike said, and from 100 yards in. So I'd like to start there as well and just kind of see if we can get a ball that maybe isn't as you said, budget, maybe not primo, but is still gonna react the way that they're looking and control around the greens. So
the only thing I would say to that is, there's a lot of skill levels out there, and the biggest way to improve is to lower your bogeys, right? And if you're a type of person that makes a lot of bogeys from penalty shots, you might want to sacrifice the greenside spin for a lower spinning ball that's going to fly straighter. I'm just saying.
If you're making
this, you need to assess this of what type of player you are.
dude, like if you're making bogeys with penalty shots, I think that's career. That's like a birdie with the penalty.
Bogeys are worse. I
know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Nice. So you have your Monday tournament guy who plays once a year looking for a sack of balls. You got different levels of premium covers. I know there's a lot of the middle price points now that are going to a urethane cover to give a little performance along with the soft covers.
Yeah, that's a great
and
kind of in between.
we're not plugging anybody on this podcast, but I know there's a golf ball on a hat of a guy talking right now that just won gold, the Hot Golf Digest Hot List on all their new product this year. So not that we're plugging anybody, but that's a great spot to look. There might be a guy that won the Masters if he had been playing it. They do a lot of great stuff with taking the spin off the ball with the driver, but still responsive around the green. So I think there's a lot of balls out there that do that. It's just a matter of what logo you like to look at. Like you said, Tony, your price point, and then working with your PGA professional to get fit, get some advice on how to get into that ball, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I know, I kind of know the ball you're talking about, Mike, and I've played it, and it definitely flies straight. I will say that. I mean, I hit it straight to begin with, but it flies even straighter. So there's not a lot of curve to it, but.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're getting to the lower handicap golfers and the better players, it is nice to get into those nitty-gritty discussions. Like maybe you have a player who does like to shape it and really curve it like a Scotty. Or on the other hand, you have like a Morikawa who wants to see that same shape every time. So there's a lot of ways to skin the cat. There's a lot of ways to play good golf. Figure out what's best for you, and be consistent. I think that's the biggest thing.
Very cool. Great stuff. Next segment. New one for us. I'm excited for this. This kind of came up after our boy Walker last week, where we were all a little stumped over some Walker dude. It wasn't Jimmy. So new segment for us. Playa or pretender. And Tony, you're going to lead the way on this. Let's go. What do you got?
That's right. These boys, yes. You guys are going to be guessing. I've got 3 golfers here.
Love this.
I got little bios for each one. And it's kind of pretty much 2 truths and a lie, the golf version.
B.
So, here we go. All right. So, our first golfer, Hiroshi Tai, is the first player representing Singapore to compete in the Masters tournament. Last May, he won the 2024 NCAA Division I Men's Individual Championship for Georgia Tech by 1 stroke over 6 players. He joined a list of champions that included Jack Nicklaus, Ben Crenshaw, Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, and Bryson DeChambeau. Also last year, the 2024 first-team All-American made his major championship debut in the U.S. Open at Pinehurst number 2. Okay, golfer number 2, we have Joe Long. Joe Long made his Masters debut in 2021 following his victory in the 2020 British Amateur at Royal Birkdale. With that win, he earned invitations to the Masters, the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines, the U.S. Open Championship at St. George's. Long became the first Englishman to win the British Amateur since 2004, joining a list of champions that included Jose Maria, Sergio Garcia. A standout amateur, Long represented England in multiple international team compositions as well. And for our final golfer, June Park is the first player representing South Korea to qualify through the Latin America Amateur Championship, which he won in dramatic fashion with a final round 64. As a senior at Stanford University, Park helped lead the Cardinal team to title at the 2022 Pac-12 Championship. He was named 2022 First Team All-American. He made his major championship debut at the 2024 Open Championship at Royal Troon, where he made the cut and finished tied for 42nd. Park also represented South Korea in the 2020 and 2021 Eisenhower Trophy events and finished runner-up at the 2022 Asia Pacific Amateur Championship in Thailand.
I love this. So how does this work? Are Andy and I allowed to work together?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So number 1's a player. I know that. He was just on the Masters coverage this week. So we're down to B and C.
I mean, if you want me to throw it out there, immediately I said Joe Long, but that could be wrong.
Is he goofy enough just to throw us off the trail? I feel like the third one, I just recently heard that. I feel like I just recently heard that story.
I mean,
but you know he's going to throw one in there just to trick us up. So
it could be
close.
I'm going firm with B. And it's purely based on name. And it's purely just the way you said it and the way that it was. You took. Yeah, I'm going with Joe Long.
I'm going to go with Joe Long.
I am.
You would be incorrect, sir. You would be incorrect. Let's go.
Is it C?
It is C. June Park, I made up. Let's go.
June Park. Man.
Let's go.
It just sounded like...
Joe Long. As soon as I saw that, I was like, that's the one. That's the one, because they're going to think I made that up.
Good
Wait
job.
till Joe Long gets his win at the RBC Heritage in 2 years. It's going to be great.
My Lord.
We'll have a nice clip to play.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what tour is he on right now?
Is
he still battling through?
Let's see, turned pro in 2021.
Oh, look at this guy. What a beard.
I don't know if he has status right now.
Beard, man. He's got
Sunshine Tour.
Yeah. All right.
Looks like. Yeah, Sunshine
Tour.
Tour.
He's got the flow hanging outside of the hat. He's got the scraggly beard. What? Wow. Cheers to you, sir.
Love it.
Had to do a...
We'll be fighting over him for our long shot as soon as he makes the tour.
Amen. I love
Joe
it.
Long, the long shot.
The
longest of the long shots.
Unbelievable. So is that guy in third, our choice C, was that an actual player profile, or did you make that all up?
No, I made that up.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to be like, could we guess whose profile that actually is? That would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh. But if it's if it's fictitious, then don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's totally fictitious. Right. Totally fictitious.
You had me on Stanford. I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I heard this. But I think it was the first player that was his description, too. So good work, Tony. I like that segment. I look forward to the ones coming up forward.
For sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
Keep throwing names in like that, and I'm going to miss every week.
Yeah.
At one point, I'm going to get it right, because I'm going to hold strong with that strategy.
Yeah. I love it. Player, pretender, a success.
Yes. All right. Moving on to our final segment. It's a new one for us as well, the AD Weekly Update. So what's going to happen here is Andy is going to just update us on all things that happened in the PGA Tour this week, different tours, what's happening in the golf world, just some potpourri topics of anything and everything golf. It doesn't have to be about a specific event. So, Andy, what do you got for your segment this week?
Yeah, this week, we're obviously going to keep it all Masters.
Sure.
So I'm gonna tee one up right here for Tony. So there was a caddy play on 18T in the playoff, and obviously we all know Rory came down, hit a poor wedge, didn't get up and down. He's back on a tee box, and as I was sitting there watching it, I looked over at a buddy of mine and I said, who do you think looks like they're ready to play this 18th hole, this first playoff hole? Justin Rose walked up, like he was there a little later, I get it, but he walked up and you could see he was just like rearing and ready to go. He was just chest out, his normal, just confident walk. Rory was sitting there and you could just feel the air out of him. And from what I heard is that his caddy, your boy that you don't like, came up to him and said, hey, hold on. Came up to him and said, we would have taken this on Monday, right? We would have taken this spot on Monday. Saying, if you would have told us we were going to be in a playoff on Sunday afternoon to win the Masters, we would have just skipped the week and gone and played 18, the first playoff hole. So, I mean, that puts a pretty good perspective on what's going on. So I kind of wanted to hear what Tony has to say about that. and give him a
You know
shot
what?
here.
I love that because you know what?
Me too.
That just goes to show you, like, it really does help. Like, it can be a little bit of little something, and I'm not saying that it's everything, right? We've kind of beat this horse pretty dead, but just maybe it took him that long to feel comfortable enough to get him like that, you know? I don't know what the relationship is personally, but maybe that was his first time like kind of speaking up, or I don't know. I'm sure it wasn't, but you know, that was a great moment for him to say something like that. And that's what a great caddy does, and that's what a great caddy can do. I
mean, I think that's a remarkable way of putting it. I
mean,
man. If you're standing there, I mean, I'll tell you, if I'm standing there by myself and there's, you know, you've got to have a lot of belief, buddy, and you've got to be able to put everything behind you at that point. If you're
right,
you know, if you're standing there and it's maybe not the Masters and you're playing the 18th at your invite, you know, I may be in that spot soon, you know, sooner than I think. And I may need to step up and do that. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. I think it's tough though. I think it's tough
for
to
sure
be able to sit there and say, hey, like, look at where we're at. Yeah. This is what happened, but here we are.
And like, you know, just to kind of bring everything super full circle, like we kind of laughed last week when I talked about, you know, Scotty Scheffler and how him having his life outside of golf put together allows him to focus shot to shot, you know, and it's not just that his life's put together, but he, you know, he has somebody who brings him to the present moment. He's very connected with God. He's somebody who knows how to bring himself to the present moment. You know, and maybe Rory hasn't been that person. And you have to be present to hit focus, attention, one golf shot at a time, right? And maybe he's had hard time doing that in the past.
I think. Go ahead.
No, but maybe, you know, maybe that was his moment to, like, yes, now I have, like, realize, like, I need to focus on golf. Like, I remember him saying that in an interview. Maybe I need to spend a little bit more time focusing on golf and really putting my attention there. And maybe he's finally, you know, that little conversation was just like a reminder, like, hey, like this is where we want to be. Like we can focus on the past 20 minutes that we just kind of blew it, which you kind of did, but you can't change that, right? You can't change that. All you can do is focus on what's right in front of you right now, and that's this tee shot and this gap wedge that we're about to stuff. You know?
And I think that he did mention that in his interview. It was either Saturday, I think it was Sunday. I can't quite remember, but I think yesterday he said, you know, he didn't understand himself. Went back in like 2011 or 10 or 11 when he let it get away, and 25. Maybe it took 14 years for him to just kind of understand what's going on, and this self-awareness to kind of take a half second, reset,
for sure,
and just rebuild. So yeah, I thought that was a great one to go to.
I'll eat my crow too. I'll eat my crow too.
Give you an opportunity to throw it in there. So
for sure.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
And then another topic, and this is gonna
hold on before we get there. Let's see. I think Mike may have disconnected.
Oh, he did.
Let's see if we can get him back in here.
Yeah.
You got me, boys?
Yeah, you there?
My screen is frozen, but
okay.
It just shows me drinking water here.
Okay.
Yeah, Tony, I thought that was just like a wild spot.
That's super cool.
I just think it's tough, man. I think that's just, I mean, obviously, like it's.
To have to like watch everybody watch you grow up.
What the heck is that?
What's up? You're in here twice?
Yeah.
All right.
It's weird. Hold on, maybe I can kick you. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, it was actually super nice today. For once.
Oh, over there, up there. Mm-hmm. Did you get out there today?
Yeah, I played Ivy Ridge though because they aerated today.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I thought, no, I'm good. Am I in there twice again or no?
No,
No,
you're
you're
good.
good.
Oh, okay. I was looking at a bookshelf and it was Tony's place. I have the same kind of shelf in front of me, and I thought never mind. I've lost Andy now. I,
Oh
I don't see
no.
Andy.
Oh,
There he
he's
is.
here
I
for
got
me.
him. All right,
All
I
right,
got
cool.
him.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. All right.
All right, I'm gonna tee up this. I've got, just so you're aware, I've got the mud ball, and then I've got like the interviews that I'm gonna talk about, and the mud ball is gonna be in with that interview.
All right.
So,
Cool. Perfect.
okay, I'm gonna kind of tie this all together.
Perfect.
Yeah, Tony. So that was a nice spot there for Rory and his caddy, and moving into another spot here that the interview controversy continues on the PGA Tour. We had Morikawa at Arnie's spot, and he took some heat. This week we had kind of two different sides, right? We had Shane Lowry, who was livid after his Saturday round, livid. And they popped a mic in front of him, and he basically just sat there and said, "Hey, boys, this is ridiculous that we've got to do this." He's like, "I don't want to be here. I got to go try to win a Masters. Like, I got to get out of here. I don't want to say anything stupid," even though he kind of did. And, he brought up an interesting spot where tennis players have to give interviews, but they get 30 minutes to an hour to do it. So they get a chance to kind of reset, get over it, take their Michael Jordan 15 to 20, get their head straight, and then go out and be prepared to receive whatever criticism and questions they're going to get, right? So on the other hand, Justin Rose gave I thought was a masterful, very eloquent interview after he just lost in a playoff. He,
Sure did.
he took everything. He said everything that he was feeling in the situation. He didn't back down from anything that was being said, and he just put everything together so well. What do you guys think when it comes to interviews and what should kind of be protocol on the PGA Tour? How do you feel about that sort of thing? Because some guys, there's this part where Jordan just came in and starts talking about mud balls, and you're not supposed to talk about mud balls at the Masters, apparently. So, what do we think here? What are your thoughts? Mike, fire away.
I would go 100% player preference up to a 30-minute window. If there's a guy comes off the course and he just wants to get it over with, get on his jet and get to the next stop, cue it up. If a guy comes off hot like Lowry or like Morikawa or one of these guys where you grinded on a 6-hour round because you're behind some guys that are crossing their T's and dotting their I's, and you're grinding your rear end off for 6 hours and you come up short, and especially if it was something self-induced that you had control over, I mean, you need a moment to let the air out of the collar, right? You can't go right into it like that. That's kind of unfair to the player. I know the networks, they want to get a sound bit because they're trying to put on a production. There's a ton of tour sponsorship dollars in it to get the player's reaction right as he comes off the green. It's hard. I think you got to give it up to the player. And if there's an interview, I think it was common. I don't know what other sports it is, but I commonly remember hearing, like, at the end of a game or something, XYZ player is not available right now. But then in so many minutes, 30 minutes, an hour later, they have the interview, and then it's showed all over the world, right? Everybody can see it. So
Yeah.
Sure.
I think you give the player 30 minutes to cool off if they need to, or if they want to run right into it, let them run into it. But, yeah, they need to adjust that a little bit because then the media loves it because then it's an opportunity for them to get a sound bite, and then they run with it. And, the guy can't live it down. Maybe he loses sponsorship. That's happened with a few guys where you just foot and mouth and whoops. And all of a sudden you just lost millions of sponsorship dollars because, well, you three-putted from 4 feet and you let the thing get away and you're hot, right? So it's hard. They're human. Give them time. That's my thought.
Yeah, what is the rule? Do they have to go right after they sign their card, or?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I couldn't find anything where there was something specific. I'm interested in other sports, right? You've got coaches, assistant coaches. You probably have agents close to locker room or what's going on. How many times do they talk to the guy that loses in a basketball game right afterwards? They're going to talk to the guy that put up 38, won, and doing the whole thing, right? So he's going to give a great interview regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, I don't know if the PGA Tour, if everybody's agent's right there, if everybody's manager's right there, that's like, hey, like, we got to give them a minute. It kind of comes off for
Probably
like the
not,
player. Yeah, and the players, like you said, Mike, players probably just trying to get off, even if it's to go to the range and just finish a practice session.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously coverage, time parameters and all that stuff. I feel bad for the guys that want to get it off their chest. They just want to say what they think. Unfortunately, it's probably a little bit more locker room-esque than live on coverage. I wish that there was something there that would maybe protect the guys a little bit more. Yeah. Because then it doesn't come in. They're making this big thing with Bryson and Rory that Rory didn't talk to Bryson. Tiger did that to everybody. Bryson was there. He just lost. He had just not played well. He came up with, the things that we talked about, the excuses and things like that. Mm-hmm. Not excuses, but just didn't have it. And you could tell that when he said, yeah, I don't know, Rory didn't talk to me all day, they ran with it.
Oh, yeah.
He just said it. Yeah, he didn't talk to me. And he was obviously visibly upset because he just played a poor round. And he's a very emotional, wears it on his sleeve type of guy, right? So they kind of ran with that, and now it's going to be one of those situations that's talked about throughout the week, moving forward. So I'd like to see them have a little bit more respect for the guys. But then again, they're adults. They're playing golf on the highest stage. There's part of that when you sign up that you're going to give interviews, and you kind of just have to mind your P's and Q's and say what you need to say and keep it PC. So it's on both, but
for sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't got into, and I'm sure they've tried, and the players have probably shut it down. Like you see in these college and NFL football games where the coaches, before kickoff, they give a live interview with the coach before the kickoff right on the field, right? And they ask them some generic, stupid question that every coach answers the same. And then it's great when they're running off field. Coach, you're down 38. What do you think you need to do?
Yeah.
The dude just like,
we got to take our what's out of our what.
It's the most alpha dudes in the world on those football fields, and you're asking them, you're down 38, bro. Like, why one of these reporters haven't got punched yet? I can see on the tour, I'm surprised they haven't gone this way. Like, hey, let's get a 9-hole interview with the leaders. Like, hey, before you tee off on 10, you need to do an interview. So
they were doing that last year, the walk and talk.
They're doing the walk and talk. But
did they do that this year?
I think in some spots
I thought they got away from it because of it was awkward. They didn't do it right.
Events. I think it was like those hit and giggle events, wasn't it? It wasn't like majors and stuff they were doing that.
I remember them doing it in the Bay Hill, so it was some decent events.
Yeah, I mean, let's get Rory after he made double. Like
run over to the green. Yeah, run over the green on 14T. Hey, Rory. What happened back there?
What do you think?
Well, the wind came up and I dumped it in the water.
That is the potential of the TGL has. Like, that could be cool if, like, that actually becomes, like, they care about the result of that.
Yeah.
And they, like...
They get them in the middle of it.
It's like, But no, that they should all be in the same, trying to move in the same direction, and that's to like the better the players look, the better light that they're all in.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they're forcing them into doing that if they know what's going to happen. Like,
and I get that, but it also makes for good TV, though, right?
Money and
how,
TV, baby.
not really.
Gotta get the ratings.
It doesn't, though. Like, think about how much
does.
coverage they're going to get to talk about all week. Like, they're going to talk about Jordan Spieth saying there's mud balls out here and we're not supposed to talk about it. He could have said, yeah, there's mud balls and whatever. He didn't have to say we're not supposed to talk about it.
And Shane,
Sure.
Shane Lowry's going to get a ton of run because he was a little upset with the reporters, so they're going to run with it. And it's
Yeah, but okay. Just because there's media attention doesn't mean it's like publicity. All publicity is not good publicity. Like good, you know what I'm saying?
I get where you're going with it, but what sells?
No.
Like
Controversy.
Okay, what about the live PGA Tour stuff? Like, did that help anyone? That sold a lot of article advertisements, I'm sure, on Golf Digest and stuff like that. But how many people have you talked to who are like, I don't really care about the PGA Tour anymore, and nobody watches Live, So it's like, it really wasn't good for golf. It's a lot of publicity. It's bad branding,
Yeah, I mean, I think that there was a lot of ability to fill air that makes money on all of the stuff that they have. I totally understand where you're coming from, Tony. I just think that if you have dead air and you can't find things to talk about and you're talking about the same things, people want to have a Bryson and Rory now shindig. Think about Bryson and Brooks when that was going on.
Oh, yeah.
That's all they talked about. Every time that they were near each other, it was that. So now they're going to have an opportunity. I'm probably thinking they're going to try and nip Jordan Spieth in the bud. Like they're going to nip that in the bud. But who knows? That could be a spot where now they just run with it. Now Jordan gets a little backlash where, it makes for a good point what he's saying.
Sure, yeah. What's the old saying?
The kid pissed in Rays Creek this week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the kid's getting shunned. John Daly came out and made a comment, and I don't know if it was
What did he say? What did he say?
He made a comment about something that happened after a round where he was with a female down there, and that's happened in Rays Creek too. He said, it's already water. It's already water. Like, this is what's up. So, listen, it's... Yeah, it's the Masters, it's this, it's that, but I totally understand where you're coming from. I think that all of this, they need to help them out a little bit, but I also believe that there's a lot of backing behind
the machine,
getting hot mics,
the media
the guys
machine
that are just there. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, for sure.
We're talking about it. Like,
well,
I like the fact that we brought it up and that it's in there and that, here's a great talking point of what's going on. What do you think? How do I feel?
Sure.
And maybe everybody's doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's just the bigger golf monetization guy, like overlords working that, whatever. Are bigger than the PGA Tour, honestly.
Yeah. I love me an overlord. Love me an overlord.
You guys are unreal. So I did have one thing. I think I froze, and I don't think anybody asked for my comment on the Rory.
I did, and you were gone.
I got you for the Rory.
The caddy. I thought you were froze.
Yeah, I think I was froze, but it was great. I'll give it that. But it was great because he won.
Yeah,
agreed
for sure.
If he didn't win, doesn't mean
wouldn't have been a story, right?
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
his player stood there and hit a 370 baby cut, stuck a gap wedge 2 feet and made the putt. That's why. I mean, what round was that? That Scotty. I'm getting my rounds mixed up. Scotty yanked one way left, was in the trees.
When he was sitting down?
Yeah, like he was kneeling and then he was standing. That was like 17 or 18 on like maybe Friday or Saturday.
Friday?
Whatever round Friday. He shot 72. I think, Scotty was in there. I think Ted Scott did an unbelievable job. That's his name, right? Ted Scott, the caddy for Scotty.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, Scotty was in there, battling the shrubbery, on his knees, talking about what shot he wants to play. And Ted Scott stood there, and he's like, "What club would you like?" And Scotty's like, "Give me my 60." And then Ted executed and gave him the 60-degree wedge and then moved out of the way. It was unbelievable. I mean, Ted did such a good job to get his player. We've lost Tony.
Exit right.
Tony's
He's
gone.
gone.
I mean, Ted may have saved the Masters for him right there. It was unbelievable. So,
I mean, I'm actually shocked Ted didn't grab the 60 himself and just whack it out of there.
Exactly. It's unbelievable. I mean, there were some great caddy moments. I mean, I could go through them, but wow. Yeah, so that's all I had on that. That was
perfect.
That was fantastic,
Love it.
Always love getting Mike's insight, especially on the caddy situation. It's always great.
Yeah.
It's a treat.
Did you guys know that the USGA compelled players to take local caddies instead of their regular loopers back like in the 70s, 60s, like when they were going around for these majors?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
So,
I know there's a lot of guys that take locals, especially at Augusta.
I knew that Augusta, they had locals for a long time.
Yeah, there was great. You guys got to look it up. I'll send it to you. Nicholas had some great comments on it. I mean, they asked him about the caddy and the importance of the caddy, and Nicholas... 70.
I never know if he's setting it up for real or not anymore. Like, I'll never know.
So, like... What is going on? Nicholas, he's playing the 72 Open at Pebble Beach and got a local high school teacher as his caddy.
Oh my God! Here we go.
And he went wire to wire and won it, wire to wire.
That guy must have been good. What's he doing teaching? Probably more money back in the day.
62 at Oakmont.
Teachers are smart, man. Don't be knocking teachers.
In Oakmont, Jack's exact words: "Had a random guy, and I won there too." Jack's last major, he had his son on the bag, Jackie.
Jackie's a good player.
Yes. So, Jack had the same caddy at Augusta for all his wins except for when Jackie caddied. And Nicholas said that caddy was unbelievable, but he was just a cheerleader. He never read a putt, gave a club, a yardage, or anything. Just a cheerleader.
Wow.
So... in his words, he felt like the players were too reliant on caddies in today's game. But I digress. That's just Nicholas. I think he's won a couple majors.
I got a great story about Jack.
Yeah, please.
At the club I used to caddy at, he holds an event every year. It's with the senior guys. Yeah. And I was in a group with him, and one of the guys was caddying for him, and we were standing to the right. And the caddy said, yeah, it's like 72, 73, 72 or 73 yards, like right in there. And Jack starts walking up when as he's walking up, the caddy says it. And Jack stops, turns and looks at the caddy and says, is it 72 or is it 73? And I digress. I said, I'm out.
That's awesome.
Get me away from this.
That's awesome.
So I mean...
Yeah, I mean, that's just...
You gotta love Jack. He's honest, man.
He is.
He's honest.
He is. Yeah, he is. So, that's all I got for caddies this week.
That's gonna end
that's a good place to leave it.
That weekly update. So, I enjoyed that segment. I enjoy that. I like bringing some combo in for you boys to give a little opinion on. I like that.
It was nice.
Excellent. All right, boys. Well, that's a wrap for this week. What's that? What do you got?
Are we doing a fact check segment? Just real quick. Tiger did not hit the ceremonial tee shot this year.
No, he did not.
Just so we're aware.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that from. God bless
I
your
didn't want to
heart.
say anything at that time. I was just like, "Geez,
Listen,
he blew his
said fake
Achilles."
news.
Yeah,
I said fake news.
yeah, you did.
But maybe they would have wheeled him out there. He could have hit it off one of those carts on the side with the chair.
Oh yeah, what was that? The Dennis Walter trick shot show. That guy's phenomenal.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. There was a couple other fact checks I got. I think in our comments, I had that stat where the Americans held all 4 majors, and I was like, the last time it happened was like 52, 82, something like that.
Somewhere in there.
I had forgotten and I didn't write it down, so I had to go back and check, and it was 1982. 1982
It was 82,
was the last
nice.
time, but now the Americans 7 in a row. The Euros have just broke that streak as well, so that one's done.
They may not. The Americans may not hold a major again until 2026.
True.
Rory's going to win the Grand Slam.
12% chance. 12%, right there.
Unbelievable.
I gotta find the odds on that.
I can't wait. If it's 12%, I'm betting it.
I had another fact check. I did confirm Scrapple is indeed a PA thing.
Nice.
So I did confirm that. My wife's grandfather ate a lot of it. So
What is it?
Scrapple.
Yeah, I can't even describe it.
I have no idea. There's a different part of PA that I'm from.
I wouldn't recommend it, so you're not missing much.
I asked if it was,
You got the info.
I asked if it was.
I'm out.
I asked if it was spam, but it was not spam. So, yeah.
No, it's like a corned beef hash type of thing. Like, it's not like corned beef hash, but it's a type of, that. Yeah, it wasn't something I would recommend. That's for sure.
Yeah. And maybe to just throw it out there, Rory, after last week's podcast and some things that have gone out, Rory declined the interview today.
Yeah, I was shocked by
for
that.
the Masters champion. So
He's really nice about it, at least.
yeah, I mean he didn't have any harsh words. I think he's still coming down from that win, but it was nice to see him play it off as well as he did.
Yeah, I mean, I had to sign all ready to go for him. I was hoping there was a last minute, we were going to get that link up, but yeah, we couldn't get with this camp.
No change of heart.
No.
Yeah, no change
it
of
didn't
heart.
happen.
So
He said maybe after Quell Hollow, but
yeah. Might be able to get him on next week if Mike's giving him the mojo for the freaking Grand Slam.
Yeah, I mean, it's in play, boys. It is in play.
Hey, you're right. It is.
I love it.
All right.
Wait, is there a world that Rory maybe wins or gets up now that the handcuffs are off and gets a shot at Jack's record?
Oh, what is he?
What's
37?
7? No, he's 35. What's he at? 5?
Well, he'll be at.
He's
He'll
35.
be at 11.
Yeah. How many majors? 5 or 7? 5? 6?
I have no idea.
He's won.
I don't think so.
No, he's only won 4 because he just. No, yeah.
He won.
No, I thought he won. Didn't he win the U.S.
Two
Open
U.S.
twice?
Opens, right?
Yeah.
Two
Yeah.
U.S. Opens.
It's either, I think, I thought he had 2 PGAs.
We just live in this beautiful world. Where
He
we
won
can
the U.S.
look
Open at
stuff up.
Congressional, and then he won the PGA at Quail Hollow when it was there, right?
He won something, what was that, Kiowa Island? Was that him that won down there? At a PGA
He has
or something?
5. He has 5.
5 right now?
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
He has
He's
5.
got to get to how many?
14.
I thought it was 18.
Oh, no, 18. I forgot. Oh, my God. I was thinking Tigers. Yeah, there ain't no chance.
No
shot.
chance.
He's got
Well,
5.
Unless-
he could win the
Unless he goes back-to-back Grand
Slams.
The,
Yeah, I mean, then he's got a shot.
the double grand.
I'm counting.
Wow.
So he has 5
Imagine.
right now. He
He needs 13.
13 to tie, 14 for the record.
Yeah,
He's
he's
got-
got 15 years until he's a senior. 14 and a half years until he's a senior.
And he's actually got about 7 prime years left. So he'd have to do 2 a year. Yeah, he's got to average 1.5, 1.8 for the next 10 years.
Wow. It's out there.
I mean, if he gets
Yeah.
4 this year, that's 8.
Can we stop the nonsense? Like, what? Are we gonna just barrel down this road and stick with it? Oh, I'm sorry, but gosh,
One of us is driving.
unbelievable.
The Rory bus is leaving.
All right,
Yeah,
I
so
love it.
I like it. All right, any other fact checks we missed?
I'm good with it.
Yeah. All right.
Boys, what a week.
Yes. RBC
Awesome
this
week.
week.
What a week.
All right.
Yeah, just more good golf coming up.
Yeah.
All right. Good week, boys. Let's take in some golf this week. We'll be back again next Wednesday. 1 foot drive. I think next week might be the time that we unveil why we got the name. It might be the time that we break that out. So next Wednesday, unless something ridiculous happens at the RBC, let's plan on unveiling the name. 1 foot drive, how we got it. So,
Awesome.
all right, gentlemen.
Like it.
I love it.
Gents, have a good night. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.